Greetings and welcome to ParaNerd Talk, presented by Capture Paranormal. It's the paranormal discussion program voted on by you and our friends at facebook.com/Capture Paranormal. And on this episode, it's shadow people. So, yeah, I know, Bryce, you have kind of wanted to talk about this topic for quite a while. And
yes.
We threw it up on the facebook.com/Capture Paranormal. The vote was on and shadow people won.
Yep.
So you finally got your moment.
I finally got my moment.
So, yeah, the only thing I honestly know really about shadow people, I've heard of the Hat Man, things like that before, which we'll probably get into.
Yes.
But I'm throwing this one to you because you've done research on this and have you had experiences?
I've had experiences, yes.
You know people, so.
I know people who've had experiences.
So let's start from the beginning. What do you know about the very kind of start of this whole phenomenon of shadow people and the Hat Man and things like that?
It's actually one of the oldest paranormal experiences that's ever been
That's what I've heard.
documented. This is something that goes back to like prehistoric times. And this is something that I've always been excited about because this is where the hardcore experiences that you can't dismiss come from.
Right.
Is seeing a dark figure standing in an area. It may move, it may not move, but it's something that permeates through all cultures. I think every culture around the world today has some recordings of this, or not necessarily recordings, but stories and personal anecdotes of this. Where you may have in Japan, ghosts. The idea of ghosts are different than what they are in
North America.
In North America, but shadow people stay the same in Japan and Russia and Germany and in England, and it's all the same kind of thing.
So what do we think it is? Is it spirits? Is it something, say, from another
that's
multiverse or dimension, or is it just its own entity that kind of is around us?
That's something that is very, very highly debatable. I personally believe that this is where the origins of where cultures get their ideas of demons come from. That these are not people who passed on.
Right.
That they are entities that exist separately from our own reality or from our own lives. They aren't connected to us. Now, one that comes up quite a bit too is the Man in Black. You mentioned the Hat Man,
right? Yeah.
That's also known as the Man in Black,
okay.
And it's also known as many other things, and that's another one that has shown up throughout culture. One common one that it shows up as in Christian culture is the Grim Reaper.
Okay.
And it tends
You're saying that the Hat Man could potentially be, well, in Christianity, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, could potentially be death?
Yes. Because it always seems to be associated with, the Man in Black specifically seems to be associated with death or with passing. My sisters worked in a nunnery, in the infirmary, dealing with the elderly nuns. And frequently they would see what differs between the Man in Black, not Johnny Cash, and shadow people is that the Man in Black stands like 7 or 8 feet tall. It's still a humanoid figure.
Yeah.
But you don't notice any legs.
I think that's the thing that makes it stand out so much, is that it is a human figure.
It is a human figure, and it's massive.
Yeah.
But they would see this figure, like this 7 or 8 foot tall figure, walking into one of the nuns' rooms in the middle of the night, and then they would go and check on the nun, and she'd be passed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Or they would see it standing in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
And then the nun would pass later on.
So that's some pretty good, evidence or whatnot to say that it good potential that it's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, and that those are also stories that kind of permeate through all cultures as well, where they would see this large black shadow looming over a person dying. and then the person would pass. And where shadow people are they're not necessarily associated with death or with dying people, but they seem to inhabit areas.
So what we're talking about is shadow person. Say like, is it say like I'm standing in front of a light and there's a shadow behind me on the wall. Am I casting my shadow, right?
Yeah.
Is it something similar to that, or would it be its own black mass? That's free roaming type thing.
What I have experienced is a black free roaming mass. Moundsville State Penitentiary. I was walking on a tier by myself, and I saw it was dark up there, but I saw a black mass that seemed human shaped walk out, lean over the rail, and look down at the people below, and then walk back into the cell. When I was house hunting, I was looking, we were in this one house, and it was an old Victorian style house. I was standing in the hall by myself. I looked down at the end of the hall, and there was this black mass standing at the end of the hall. I was like, no, we're not moving in this house.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. So, and then, Mike, you've had
seen them on 2 investigations.
Yeah.
Last fall, we were in the upstairs of a house, and just off camera in the stairwell, I could see a humanoid shadow figure standing against the wall. And then it just kind of darted away before I could pan over with the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Then years ago, we were on an investigation, and I saw it. I wouldn't necessarily say it was human shaped, but there was a shadow that it darted across the wall. It was so fast that I couldn't tell what shape it was. But those are my 2 experiences with seeing shadows.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that myself. I know my father actually told me a story recently about he ran a tire shop or whatever. And what it was is you kind of went to the back and you had to turn on the compressor and flip on the lights and stuff. So he went and turned on the compressor and flipped on lights, and he said he turned around and it was almost like someone held up a black sheet right in front of him, and kind of startled him. And as soon as he kind of like kicked in the thought of what is this thing, he said it kind of just shriveled up into nothing, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of, I don't know, like close to the closest story I can think of to an actual shadow.
Yeah, and that seems to be what most experiences report is there's something there, and then the moment your brain registers, oh my God, there's something there, it's gone.
Right.
It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
At the investigation when we were in the upstairs of that
Now,
house.
from a skeptic point of view, though, it's like, are you actually seeing something, or is it your brain kind of forming something there that's not really there, or is there some other factor in there causing you to
before I did investigations, well, I've always believed in the paranormal, but I could understand the thought that, well, your eyes are just playing tricks on you.
Right.
You're trying to adjust to the dark, and you're just seeing shapes in the shadows.
Yeah.
But now this is a story I go into quite a bit too. Is when I was little, like 3 years old, 4 years old, I would be laying in bed at night, and I would be looking into the shadow, or looking into the closet in my bedroom, and you'd see the shadows, and you'd see the shapes of the shadows in the closet. And I would get up, and I would actually go into the closet and try to figure out how those shadows were being cast.
Right.
So it's always something that when I look at shadows, it's always been something that's been kind of ingrained on me, on how the light's being cast and how.
Even as a wee little boy, you were an investigator.
even as a wee little boy, yes. And not a lot terrifies me.
5'10" little boy.
Yeah. Not a lot terrifies me. Shadow people terrified me.
Yeah?
Yes. Every experience I've had where I've seen something like that, I got scared. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
But, I've been on enough investigations, and I've done this enough that I can tell the difference between my brain playing tricks on me with the shadows versus something actually there.
Right.
It was like you were saying too about your father.
My father, yeah.
Yeah, that the moment that you register that there's something there, it disappears.
Right.
When it's a shadow of a tree or something like that that's looking like something,
Yeah.
it's still there.
Right.
It's just your brain eventually starts to figure out, and it starts to form the shape of, I can see the tree now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually had an experience last fall after we did the Halloween public events.
Right.
Something followed me home from one of them, and I had a dream that there was somebody on my chest. And when I woke up, I was surrounded by this black mass, and I actually had to tell out loud. I had to say, "Get off me and get out of here," before it started to dissipate.
yeah, and see that goes into sleep paralysis.
That could very well have been.
Yeah, one of the phenomena that happens with sleep paralysis is it's known as the presence, and I've experienced that a couple of times where there's like a black shadow standing at the foot of your bed or standing beside your bed, looming over you.
It's terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying, but like I suffer from sleep paralysis a lot, and I have only ever experienced the presence twice. Most other times when I have sleep paralysis, it's I can hear somebody walking and it's very audible that I can hear somebody walking, but then I wake up and there's nobody there. Or my sleep paralysis dreams have gone even so far where I thought I've gotten up and went and got a drink of water or talked to people or whatever.
Astral
and then went
projecting.
back. Yeah, exactly. And gone back to bed. But I've only ever experienced the presence on 2 occasions.
I don't want to ever experience it.
Yeah, it is absolutely terrifying, and I wonder if that's where that I get terrified of a shadow figure when I see one, like not Scooby Doo riding out of the room or anything like that. But it scares me. So.
Well, that's funny that you say astral projection. I was just thinking about that. Like. I didn't put those two things together at all until you just mentioned it, but it's not like the farthest thing from possibility. Like if astral projection is true, and you can do or people can do that, who's to say that they're not being seen as shadows or something like that?
Yeah, that's possible. That what you're experiencing is somebody astral projecting into that area. I don't know enough about astral projection myself, and I'm a skeptic on it too.
Right.
So
It's something we should research for another podcast.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good for sure. So going back to like we've kind of said the Hat Man, one of those global phenomena type things, and people all over the world are seeing the same kind of thing.
Yes.
What about? Was there any other things you know of? Any other kind of characters per se?
From what I remember, there was one called Spring Hill Jack is associated to it, where that came from England, and people would report that they would see some person dressed all in black running through the fields and leaping over fences at a inhuman capability. So he was dubbed Spring Hill Jack. The London police investigated it, and they were never able to deduce who exactly was Spring Hill Jack. But some people in the parapsychology realm have tied that into they were experiencing shadow people.
Yeah.
And there's a Laughing Man too, was another one that.
That sounds kind of familiar now that you.
Or the Smiling Man, or something, or the Grinning Man, or
maybe
something.
I'm just thinking of the movie or something.
Yeah. But no, people have said, like there's the Hat Man, where it appears that it's wearing a large, wide brim hat, and then there's the laughing
Well,
man.
like almost like an Abe Lincoln one type too. I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there was the laughing man where they would see something standing at the foot of the bed, and there would be a large grin on its face.
Yeah.
That they would be able to make out. There was actually, I was just reading Gerald's Game by Stephen King.
Oh, okay.
And that was mentioned that when she was tied up to the bed and she's starting to go delirious and stuff like that, she saw this figure standing at the foot of her bed with a bag of bones. And it's very likely Stephen King drew on
Yeah,
mythology.
inspiration
Yeah,
from that.
and it turned out. Well, I don't want to spoil the book, but
No spoilers.
no spoilers. But it turned out Stephen King fashion. But yeah, like again, that's it. Kind of permeates cultures. I think even what's her name in The Ring, Samara?
Oh, Samara, yeah, something like that.
Samara or whatever is kind of a extension upon that as well.
Yeah.
Where you get that figure where you can't see the face; it's just blackness covering the face. And
another thing I don't just popped in my head was that like it doesn't really have any significance like being connected to like shadow people, but like the black-eyed children.
yeah.
Supposedly showing up to your door and
That started coming around in the 1990s or so is when that started showing up. I'd never heard of it before.
it's kind of another topic, I think.
It is another topic, is the black-eyed children, and that would be an interesting topic to broach. And then there's also, like, to go along with that, there would be like the indigo children. We could probably do a whole creepy children
episode.
episode.
Yeah, if you want to hear a creepy children episode, let us know.
Yes. But yeah,
Now, have there been any do you know of any recorded like attacks or like any kind of physical injuries or anything caused from a shadow person?
I have never actually heard of any actual physical injuries caused by actual physical shadow people.
Right.
I do know that there is one documented case in the United States of something paranormal injuring a person. But I forget exactly what the details on that was.
Was that like a shadow person or just an entity? Or
that was just an entity, I believe. So.
They made a movie about it. It was called An American Haunting.
Yeah.
Had Donald Sutherland in it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you see all those shows on TV and stuff. People always getting scratched, pushed and stuff. So
Well, that's just scratching or whatever. It's not really injuries per se.
okay.
I would classify an injury as something that would be debilitating that you would actually need to seek medical help for. Getting scratched is it's mild inconvenience.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it would be scary if it happened.
It would be scary, yeah. I know there's been times on investigations where people have been scratched and just out of the blue, and you'd see like 3 finger marks across their neck.
I've always been kind of skeptical with that kind of stuff. I know it's another, tangent off topic thing, branch, but like I'm on like all these paranormal Facebook groups and stuff, and every day someone's posting a picture of their arm was being scratched or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe when you left your house today, you hit your arm on the door or something, you just didn't notice it at the time.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's actually, it's surprising how much we hurt ourselves without realizing that we hurt ourselves.
Yeah.
That's like, I was feeling this strange pain in my stomach and running down the side, I'm like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
And then
there's been times I've had an itch or something and I've scratched and whatever.
Yeah.
And then like a couple minutes later, somebody like, oh, you're bleeding on your arm. Like, I must have scratched really hard, I guess. I don't know. But when you're out and you're looking for ghosts and things, and you're gonna, hey, it's a ghost.
Kind
it's
of
a demon.
expecting something like that to happen.
What's that?
You kind of expected something like that to
Well,
happen.
yeah.
Depending on the claims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of going back to shadow people, I guess.
Yes.
We talked about, no physical attacks or anything like that. They're kind of globally known.
Mm-hmm.
What's their purpose? What are they doing here?
That I don't know from what I've researched, particularly in the about the Man in Black, is they are more of gatekeepers between our realm and the next.
Right. Well, that's when you're going back to the nursing thing, or the nunnery. Sorry, was it nunnery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Convent. Yeah.
That kind of slipped in my head when you were talking about that. Is maybe it's not like so. It's not death, or it's not the Grim Reaper. It's like you said, someone saying, "Okay, you've passed on now.
Yeah.
Come with me this way. We'll take you where you need to go."
Yeah.
Type of thing.
That's my personal belief.
Yeah.
It seems more logical, really.
There's been a
not that any Shadow People's really logical, but
yeah. There's been a lot of when you listen to people's anecdotes about experiences that they've had, they may say something like, I hear the sound of children laughing and children playing,
right.
and I see a large black figure, or there was a guy who lived here and apparently he murdered 3 people and there's a large black figure here. So it seems like it's that guardian between both worlds, either protecting us from what's on the other side from harming us, or protecting the other side from us harming them. So
Yeah,
I like that.
Going back to the whole being like a gatekeeper, like a collector kind of thing for people that are passing on. A year ago now, my mother was in the hospital and she was very close to death. And I know she told me after she got home that she realized just how close she was when she would look out into the hallway and see black figures walking, roaming the halls.
Yep.
In the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, would she be referring to the nurses and doctors, or just?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't. If she might have been delirious at that point. I don't know, because she was septic and she was so close to death. But that's what she told me she saw, was black figures in the hallways. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And hospitals are always
The hospitals.
creepy.
Yeah. I grew up in a house that was always very active and stuff was always going on, but stuff changed. It never seemed the same, where, for a while you might hear the footsteps and feel cold spots and stuff like that, and then that would go away. But then you would you'd hear singing, and the taps would turn on, and then that would go away and something else would happen. But what was consistent throughout all of them was that there was a large black figure that we would see from time to time standing in the hallway. And my mom always called it the gatekeeper. And we've kind of always believed that where the house was kind of a pathway between,
Like a portal almost?
like a portal, yeah. So people would come and they would wait until it was time to cross over, and then they would cross over. So and then while they're there, they'd figure, play with the taps.
I'm a ghost. What can I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Do something to pass the time.
Okay, do something. So that was like my earliest experiences with it was, you turn around you come out of your bedroom or whatever, and all of a sudden you're confronted by this figure, and then all of a sudden it disappears, and it's like, what was that? So,
well, it is a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of it kind of being a gatekeeper, kind of to help those who pass kind of transition to wherever it is they're going afterwards.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I do think that's where culture's idea of death and some kind of entity that controls death comes from is whatever that is. And it's not a human entity. It's what people would deem as an inhuman entity, which a lot of people associate with demonic, but it's not necessarily.
When you think of something black and mysterious, it's demonic. Well,
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
Maybe it's not. They're just doing their job. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
They wear a very nice hat.
Yeah, and we would see that as a negative thing because we view death as a negative thing.
Right.
And where for them it's like, I don't care what kind of person you were. I don't care if you were Mother Teresa or Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
You're still coming with me.
Right.
So
I don't know. It's cool.
yeah.
Do you have any final kind of thoughts on the subject?
Not for me. No, I think I've spoke my mind pretty much on it.
Yeah,
So.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about it coming into this episode, so I learned a lot. And like I said, I like the idea of the it being kind of a gatekeeper thing. If that's the truth, maybe it is. If not, we'll probably never know exactly.
Yeah.
It all comes down to your personal beliefs.
Yeah, it comes down to pretty much everything in this field is personal beliefs.
Yes.
Like
nothing is substantiated.
Exactly. That's one thing I've learned being in the paranormal field is that everything is opinionated. It's everything. Nothing is concrete, solid.
Yeah. What I like to do is I like to stitch those opinions together and try to find what's that common thread that weaves between them all, and then you kind of go, well, that's pretty interesting that we see this common theme passing through for all these experiences. So.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good episode. I liked that one.
Yeah.
That was cool. I hope you liked it too. And we want to thank you for joining us, whether you're on the Capture Paranormal podcast, on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play, SoundCloud, wherever you're listening, or whether you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/Capture Paranormal. Give us the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate it. And you'll be able to check out our upcoming episodes and our archived episodes and all our investigations and our everything we got on there. We got tons of content right now. If you want to help out the team and donate, give us your money. No. We don't want to just take your money. We want to, make you feel like we're giving back. And so head over to patreon.com/Capture Paranormal.
So we can buy some cool new equipment.
Exactly. Donate whatever you want, and we have some tiers there. I think $5 and $10 tier, and you get different things for each one. But we want to give you exclusive content and exclusive video, early access to all our investigation videos and our podcasts and everything. When we go and do, we just did the Albion Hotel about a month or two ago. We'd had the exclusive video on there. You could have been signed up and watching some exclusive live stream on there. But other than that, if you want to donate, help out the team, patreon.com/Capture Paranormal. And other than that, the next episode will be, you guys ready for this? Alternate Dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one, I'm actually looking forward to that one. I think it'll be cool. Okay. I have some stuff I want to talk about on that one.
All right.
If you're interested.
Sounds good.
Come back next time for Alternate Dimensions on ParaNerd Talk, and we'll see you next time.